and the depth of his sensitivity. This is the dimension of anticipation, a dimension we call the detective zone. I'm about to uncover another dimension, a dimension not only of sight and sound, but of depth. A journey into the wondrous land of New York. The next stop, the detecting zone. You unlock this door with a key known as a detector. Beyond it is another dimension, a dimension of sound, light, dimension of mind. You're moving into the land of both shadow and objects, of both things and idea. You've just crossed into the detecting zone. There is a dimension beyond that which is known to man. It is as vast as the beach where things are lost into infinity. It is the ground between light and shadow, between science and superstition, and it lies between the bottom of a man's soul and the depth of his sensitivity. This is the dimension of anticipation, a dimension we call the detective zone. I'm about to uncover another dimension, a dimension not only of sight and sound, but of depth. A journey into the wondrous land of New York. The next stop, the detecting zone. You unlock this door with a key known as a detector. Beyond it is another dimension, a dimension of sound, light, dimension of mind. You're moving into the land of both shadow and objects, of both things and idea. You've just crossed into the detecting zone. There is a dimension beyond that which is known to man. It is as vast as the beach where things are lost into infinity. It is the ground between light and shadow, between science and superstition, and it lies between the bottom of a man's soul and the depth of his sensitivity. This is the dimension of anticipation, a dimension we call the detective zone. I'm about to uncover another dimension, a dimension not only of sight and sound, but of depth. A journey into the wondrous land of New York. The next stop, the detecting zone. You unlock this door with a key known as a detector. Beyond it is another dimension, a dimension of sound, light, dimension of mind. You're moving into the land of both shadow and objects, of both things and idea. You've just crossed into the detecting zone. There is a dimension beyond that which is known to man. It is as vast as the beach where things are lost into infinity. It is the ground between light and shadow, between science and superstition, and it lies between the bottom of a man's soul and the depth of his sensitivity. This is the dimension of anticipation, a dimension we call the detective zone. I'm about to uncover another dimension, a dimension not only of sight and sound, but of depth. A journey into the wondrous land of New York. The next stop, the detecting zone. You unlock this door with a key known as a detector. Beyond it is another dimension, a dimension of sound, light, dimension of mind. You're moving into the land of both shadow and objects, of both things and idea. You've just crossed into the detecting zone. There is a dimension beyond that which is known to man. It is as vast as the beach where things are lost into infinity. It is the ground between light and shadow, between science and superstition, and it lies between the bottom of a man's soul and the depth of his sensitivity. This is the dimension of anticipation, a dimension we call the detective zone. I'm about to uncover another dimension, a dimension not only of sight and sound, but of depth. A journey into the wondrous land of New York. The next stop, the detecting zone. You unlock this door with a key known as a detector. Beyond it is another dimension, a dimension of sound, light, dimension of mind. You're moving into the land of both shadow and objects, of both things and idea. You've just crossed into the detecting zone. There is a dimension beyond that which is known to man. It is as vast as the beach where things are lost into infinity. It is the ground between light and shadow, between science and superstition, and it lies between the bottom of a man's soul and the depth of his sensitivity. This is the dimension of anticipation, a dimension we call the detective zone. I'm about to uncover another dimension, a dimension not only of sight and sound, but of depth. A journey into the wondrous land of New York. The next stop, the detecting zone. You unlock this door with a key known as a detector. Beyond it is another dimension, a dimension of sound, of light, a dimension of mind. You're moving into the land of both shadow and objects, of both things and idea. You've just crossed into the detecting zone. There is a dimension beyond that which is known to man. It is as vast as the beach where things are lost into infinity. It is the ground between light and shadow, between science and superstition, and it lies between the bottom of a man's soul and the depth of his sensitivity. This is the dimension of anticipation, a dimension we call the detecting zone. I'm about to uncover another dimension, a dimension not only of sight and sound, but of... There is a dimension beyond that which is known to man. It is as vast as the beach where things are lost into infinity. It is the ground between light and shadow, between science and superstition, and it lies between the bottom of a man's soul and the depth of his sensitivity. This is the dimension of anticipation, a dimension we call the detecting zone. I'm about to uncover another dimension, a dimension not only of sight and sound, but of depth. A journey into the wondrous land of New York. The next stop, the detecting zone. You unlock this door with a key known as a detector. Beyond it is another dimension, a dimension of sound, of light, a dimension of mind. You're moving into the land of both shadow and objects, of both things and idea. You've just crossed into the detecting zone. There is a dimension beyond that which is known to man. It is as vast as the beach where things are lost into infinity. It is the ground between light and shadow, between science and superstition, and it lies between the bottom of a man's soul and the depth of his sensitivity. This is the dimension of anticipation, a dimension we call the detecting zone. How you guys doing? So yeah, it's 6 o'clock. I figured might as well get this show started over here. And Lou, you had mentioned in the comments that that MacBook Air wasn't working for you. I was wondering if you were going to upgrade to a different detector. Also, yesterday I was in someone else's live stream and a lot of people were subbing, and so I wanted to thank the new subscribers, Detector Key, Wild Fellows, and there were a few more there. I'm not sure why their names aren't popping up in the thing over here, but no, it's too expensive. Yeah, are you planning to get uh, a different type of laptop than perhaps an Alienware or some kind of Windows laptop instead of a MacBook? That would be the next question. Because although MacBooks are really stylish, for the amount of money that you're paying, you can get a much better uh, equipment. A much better computer. Higher amount of storage, better RAM, better GPU. If you go with a Windows computer, um, so yeah, that's important too. It's something to Dell probably. Yeah, Dells are good, reliable computers. Definitely you really don't need like something like that's really crazy or high end like a gaming computer. Gaming computers usually have like insane graphical cards in them so that the graphics processing is done separate from like the RAM and stuff. So sort of clears up a lot of space on your computer, like workable space for it to do different things. But yeah, have to learn a new editing program. Ah man. Uh sorry to hear that. Indiana Tones. Indiana Tones is in the house, by the way. I'd like to know, is anybody else here? I know we have a few people watching. Um, I just finished eating sort of an early dinner. And I think that's how my days are going to go. I'm going to be streaming at about this time every day. I know, I think it's someone in New Jersey has a YouTube channel. They usually stream Tuesdays at 7. So hopefully I could finish up here before they start. And then we could, if everybody wants to watch, could migrate. I also know that Meryl, I think, has a video coming out later tonight. If I'm wrong, you guys could correct me. Um, but yeah, that'll be interesting too. I'm not sure if was it Meryl or was it you, Lou? Someone had mentioned in the chat. I haven't looked at the chat for hours. 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 Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, Lou, it's you. U.S. Marine Ring found metal detecting, so we can totally pimp that out too, so everybody could be there if anybody's here watching. Very exciting stuff. So yeah, I was saying I was having an early dinner. I ordered some takeout from a Mexican restaurant. Well, delivery from a Mexican restaurant. A lot of places are closed. A lot of the fast food Chinese restaurants that were around me are closed, and that's they closed even before the quarantine, just because of safety reasons. There were a lot of attacks here on Asian people, Chinese people, due to the coronavirus. And so my closest Chinese restaurant closed, and like the two other closest Chinese restaurants to me that I would order from have closed. There's a really good restaurant called Sabrosura that sells sort of Hispanic and Chinese food. They call it Chino Latino food. Uh, they've they've not been open either, so it sort of left me with like, I really want Chinese food, and I actually made General Tso's chicken for the first time a few days ago. That came out pretty good. Um, yeah, it came out pretty good. Anyway, that's pretty exciting. Um, just how's everybody doing with cooking? I know Indiana Tones loves to cook. Loves to cook. On his channel he has like the coolest stuff, the pizzas that he makes, even though he gets the crust from that place in Staten Island. Uh, yeah, it just looks so good. There's something about when you make your own food that just, ah, it's sort of like you put a bit of your soul into it. Um, but yeah, I also feel bad for all those restaurants that aren't able to open. I understand people's frustrations when they say open up already. You know, what year was that General born? General So's chicken? I have no idea. I have no idea. Um, but I made it. I used the recipe and I made a General So's chicken. It's basically a hoisin sauce with soy sauce, a little bit of rice wine vinegar. I use red pepper flakes just to give it a little bit of extra kick. Um, and then when you're cooking, adding cornstarch so it thickens up uh, over the chicken, which is pre-fried, and then you finish cooking it when you're tossing it with the sauce and stuff. So yeah, I also started the Talisman today. Oh my God, uh, nice, beautiful book by Stephen King and Peter Straub. I don't have much to say. I only read about 10% of it so far, so a bit excited about that. I know a few friends of mine. Everything's falling. A few friends of mine have gone out metal detecting and have found silver. And Tracy, what's her name? Tracy Bays, Tracy New York. What's her name? Uh, she actually doesn't like produce full on videos, and when I say full on videos I mean where she shows herself detecting and digging up stuff. Her videos are basically like a wrap up, so they're really short, really easy, but she's metal detecting here in New York City, and I think she found 4 pieces of silver last time when she went out metal detecting, and that's right here in the Bronx. That was right here in the Bronx, so that was exciting. When I saw that video I was like, whoa, that's pretty cool. Tracy's Treasures, New York and Pencil and PA. So I'm actually going to just post a link to her channel, just because I think her channel is pretty awesome. I opened it up on my phone and it started playing a video. That's funny. That's really funny. But yeah, I really like that the Tracy. Ugh, I lost the channel name even, but I really like her channel, and I think hopefully I'll be able to meet other detectors here in New York. There's a few more channels that I've been sort of put onto since I've last metal detected here in New York City, just people in general in New York. And I'm excited to sort of meet up with new people and with old people. I haven't seen Indiana Tones in forever, and we sort of missed the mark, not the mark, the time when we can do the whole metal detecting amongst the cherry blossoms. The cherry blossoms are sort of they're at the end of their cycle right now, and last year that's what had started like the group detecting. It was our first uh metal detecting amongst the cherry blossoms there in Prospect Park. Merrill didn't make it out to that one, so I was hoping that he could make it out to the one for this year, but unfortunately COVID-19 struck, and the best laid plans, blah. I didn't get a beer. That's really bad. I left my beer in the fridge. Maybe tomorrow when I when I'm streaming, I'll get my beer. I'm trying to make it so that you guys don't see my fridge. There's a way I can do it. There's a way I had it yesterday. I think it was like this. Perhaps, maybe. So yeah, does I have a question for you guys. I haven't charged my metal detector in a very long time. I haven't charged my Equinox in quite some time. And I just have it there sort of sitting down. Should I be charging it? I know sometimes like it's probably better for me just to keep it charged fully so that if ever I do go out metal detecting, it's ready to go, just grab and go, you know. But yeah, maybe I should do that sometime this week, maybe even tomorrow. For those of you who aren't metal detecting, and it's also a good time if you aren't metal detecting to do maintenance. I was watching Meryl's Dead Horse Bay video on the premiere, and someone in the chat had mentioned how dirty his detector was. I was like, oh, don't let the detector hear you. It's sensitive. It's pretty funny, but yeah, I was hoping, perhaps to do some detector maintenance pretty soon too. And what that means is just cleaning the metal detector, making sure it can come apart, cleaning the inside because sometimes in the poles you get sort of sand or other things that accumulate in there. And so I was hoping to clean off my metal detector a little bit, um, the Equinox, and also the pinpointer because my pinpointer is dirty. It's dirty. But yeah, now that I'm not really metal detecting, those are things I'm thinking about cleaning up my metal detector and having it charged. So whenever the opportunity does arrive, it's just grab and go. You know what I mean? So yeah, I haven't been eating a lot of. Now's a good time to clean equipment and relics coins. Yeah, I mean I don't have a tumbler or anything fancy like that. And maybe with time, I'll get that stuff. I'm not really in a position to get that stuff right now, but with time, I hope to get a tumbler. With time, I hope to get a nice display box for the rings I find, because everything's just like in jars. And as a matter of fact, I could show you one right now. Just give me 2 seconds. Hey, Ski Searcher, how you doing? Sorry, I was just explaining. We were talking about. I'm not really metal detecting right now, just because of the whole COVID-19 thing. So I was thinking I haven't charged my detector in a long time, in a few months actually. So I was thinking, should I keep it on the charger just in case when the opportunity arises to grab and go? And I was thinking about doing detector maintenance, cleaning out my Equinox, taking apart the parts, making sure the insides don't have dirt and sand in the pole, and things like that. And so, and also, Indiana said it was a good time to clean the equipment and coins. I don't have a tumbler or anything like that to clean. I don't do electrolysis or anything like that. And I sort of keep everything in jars. And so I have like this jar of rings that are fake. Fake rings, like not silver, not gold. Not that they don't exist, but fake as in not silver and not gold. So we can have a look at those. I have quite a few fake ones. Um, there's this one that when I found it, it sort of stopped my heart. You know what? This is not helping. The webcam being in black and white is not helping. So we're gonna turn off that filter just momentarily while I'm showing this. Ooh, oh my God! It's like magic. It's like magic. So there's this one which when I found it, it gave me a heart attack. But if you see the inside, it's not real. It's a completely different color on the inside. So this is like my jar of not real rings, and it's just a Bertolli Alfredo sauce container. See, I eventually want to get a ring box to put them all in. I got this Iron Man ring, which is pretty cool. But again, it's not real. I think this might be stainless steel. There was this ring. This one I found last year. I think I found this one on Orchard Beach. I'm trying to find the best place to show it off. And then, oh, I wish Merrill was here because he would know. Merrill would know. It was that beach that we went to where I found this. It was like I didn't make a video, or at least not a full like detecting zone video. It's just like a very short clip that I uploaded to YouTube the day I found this ring. And I spent so long cleaning it. It's sort of like a copper ring, but look at how, and on a very, very old beach, but look at how many like little jewels it has. It was very cool. When I found this ring, I had in the text. I thought it was so cool, but I don't believe it's real. It doesn't have any markings to that effect, at least. Let's see what else I found. This one I remember finding last year. Is this it? Yeah. Well, yeah. We'll start with this one. So this is an interesting ring. It's a bit miscolored, but you can't really tell. But it actually has the Lord's Prayer written on it. Let me see if it's in English or in Spanish. I don't know what you would call it, this ring. And it's yellow. Yeah, it's in Spanish. So it's a ring that has the Lord's Prayer in Spanish. Share the stream on Facebook. Right now? Give me 1 second. I can share the stream out on Facebook. Um, just give me 1 second. I have to pull up the link off of, and let me share with you guys the Tracy's Treasures link that I was talking about. So Tracy's Treasures, she also detects in New York. Trey Bay NY1, that's the link to her channel. And what am I doing? I'm on YouTube. I need to grab the link to this video. But yeah, she's been uploading sort of very short hunts, and I was, again, she doesn't upload the entire hunt, only the end, only what she finds, and I really appreciate like how quick and fast her videos are. She's like, this is where I am, this is what I found. Thanks for watching. It can't get any more clearer or better than that. And actually, the method of just recording on your phone and uploading to YouTube, no editing necessary, no putting an intro, that's really attractive. To people like New Yorkers with a busy lifestyle. There you go. I'm currently making a Facebook post right now. Just saying, currently live streaming on YouTube. Check it out if you want to hang. So let's do that. That's uploaded. This other ring I found, I thought it was the ugliest ring, um, just in terms of the way it looks. I don't think it looks old though, right? Like, or maybe I'm just fooling myself. This could have been something that was made recently. I don't know. And I have to clean these a bit more. This was a copper ring I found last year that I really enjoyed. I spent a lot of time cleaning this, but now it has sort of stuff on it. Yeah, I really need to take time to clean these things. And it could be just because I am keeping it in a closed container that they all feel like a little bit grimy. But yeah, that was a copper ring I found last year. This one, I actually put it in a video. I called it my Infinity Gauntlet ring. So when Thanos wears the Infinity Gauntlet, he has all these cool colored jewels on it. And this ring, on this side, it really doesn't have anything. You see that? But then when you start turning it, it has like differently colored sort of areas on it. And so I call it the Infinity Gauntlet ring just because of the different colors it has. I found that last year. Um, this one I found, I don't think it was last year. I think it was the year before, and it's missing a lot of jewels. Again, it's not fake. It's not real. Not gold or silver. So it's just another, we're having like a little impromptu show and tell session here. We'll get to the real stuff a bit later. This is another ring, and this one ring up really low, sort of in the aluminum range. So I think it's an aluminum ring. It also looks like it had what do you call it when it's cut? Like, there you go. Just drop all the rings, Jonathan. Why not? Yeah, it looks like it's been cut or resized or something, and one of the things had broken off one of these little, I don't know what you call it, slates or rocks or whatever you call them, had broken off. This is another ring with the Lord's Prayer in Spanish I had found last year. This one was a lot nicer. This is one of the first rings I found when I was metal detecting with Meryl, metal detecting NYC, and it's extremely small. The type, the letters, but if you look at it closely, you could just make out the Lord's Prayer, and again, it's the Lord's Prayer in Spanish. Hey Rob, how you doing? I'm just doing a little bit of a show and tell today. In the beginning, we were talking a little bit about the food, and how I miss my Chinese restaurants. Most of the Chinese restaurants in this area are closed. Um, but yeah, hey Rob, how you doing? This is a ring I really like. So you see, it's sort of like a copper color, brass or copper colored, and it has like three skulls. But this one's covering his mouth. This one's covering his ears. Hopefully, you guys could see. He's covering his ears, and then the last one's covering his eyes. So it's sort of like, see no evil, speak no evil, hear no evil sort of thing. Which is pretty fun. Um, hey, how you doing, Sailor Steve? Um, so yeah, this was a when I found this ring, I was like, whoa, that's really strange. But it's a really cool ring. This one was broken, and it's just a skull, so it's just like a regular stainless steel sort of skull ring, but it's broken back here. You guys can see that. I don't know if I could even get that repaired or who I would have to go to. They could probably do it at a jeweler's spot, right? Just add a little bit of solder on it and sort of bang it out till it's nice and even. But yeah, this is a pretty cool ring. I like the other one first, the hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil, with the three skulls. That was pretty cool. Yeah, I have a few other ones, and I think all of these I found last year or were given to me, found or were given to me. So there was this one, this ring, which is it seems very fragile, and when you touch it it's a bit sharp. I think if I knew like how to do electrolysis and I had the stuff at home to do it, I think this ring might clean up nice because it is like a nice copper color on the inside. But it's just heavily tarnished and a bit sharp in some places, and there's even it looks like sand in the crevices of this little ring. It's extremely small. It's probably like a size 4 women's ring or something like that. So yeah, that's a nice little one. This one, when I saw it, gave me like an attack, and then I realized it was fake, so nothing to go losing your head over. But yeah, bam! When you see something like that, you're like, whoa, look at that rock. And then you look at the color, and you're like, oh, wait, let's turn it around so you can see that color, definitely fake. Definitely fake. But you lose your mind when you see something like that. You're like, whoa, I hit the jackpot today. And that's happened to me quite a few times. Um, Hey, Dogstar Blazer, how you doing? I also have this other ring. It's badly miscolored. Again, not real, but it does say on the inside something 5-6. It's like triangle ALBR 5-6. So I don't know what that means. Triangle ALBR 5-6. Very cute little ring. It looks like a princess's crown, right? I'm gonna put it up close. Looks like a princess's crown with a little jewel there. But if you turn it around, you can see it's not colored correctly. It's losing color. And again, the marking inside, I haven't found anything about it. But if you guys could find something or know anything about it, it's ALBR 5-6. I don't know what that means, but that's what it says on that one. So I put it in my little collection of fake rings. Then I have this one. I actually put this one in a video. This one's called my best friend ring because on the inside it's marked best friends. You guys could kind of see where it's marked over here. It says best friends. It's just a little heart ring. I guess they weren't that good of friends since you lost your best friend ring. Just saying. Just saying, if you're really good friends, you don't lose the ring. Hey, Digging Canuck, how you doing? We're having a little bit of show and tell today. Um, so yeah, let me just stop and look at the chat. Rob, Sailor Steve, Indiana Tones, Dogstar Blazer, that's Carlos, Liz. Thanks for coming by and watching and spending a little bit of time with me. I think I'm gonna be streaming until 7 because I know there's other live streams that are going live at 7 o'clock. But we're gonna continue on with this little show and tell. And I have 2 rings that were given to me last year by JJ James. I'm gonna type his username here in the chat. Awesome YouTube channel, by the way. Love watching his content. Especially he has a video where he was going and sort of making money off the cell phones that he had found. There's like machines where he lives where you could recycle electronics and they give you money based on those electronics that you recycle. But he gave me 2 rings. He sent me 2 rings last year. Very happy. They were my size. He asked me for my size. And there's this one that's a stainless steel ring. It's pretty cool. And then there's this one that's carbon tungsten. And I just love carbon tungsten because you could do stuff with it that you can't do with any other material. And when I see carbon tungsten rings, I need to you sub to JJ James. Yeah, he is an amazing YouTuber and metal detectors. He's always pulling out good stuff. Looking for that gold, of course, and he scraps a lot of the even fake jewelry that he has no need for. He just scraps it, and the electronics, tries to get as much money. The keys that he finds, tries to get as much money from the metal detecting stuff that he finds. But yeah, he gave me this ring. Which I really like. And I have never found a carbon tungsten ring metal detecting. That's sort of on my bucket list because I know that they're more prominent now than gold and silver just because of the cost of those rings are a lot less than gold and silver. So we're going to put those back in. A carbon tungsten ring? I did? Oh no, that wasn't carbon tungsten. That was a legit oh yeah, no, that was carbon tungsten. My wife just reminded me that about 3 years ago when my mom got married, I had forgotten about that. I found a carbon tungsten ring, and my stepdad, before the wedding, before they were leaving, actually, was it before or after their wedding? Because they had left for a while, remember? On vacation. Right before they left on vacation, I'm not sure if it was before or after the wedding. I gave him that ring, that wedding band, and it was golden colored, but it was carbon tungsten wedding band. So thanks for reminding me. This one I made a video about, and a lot of people in the video were like, "Whoa, that's pretty cool." It's a color change ring. So you see how blue it looks. We're gonna put it on my finger, and we're gonna wait a while for it to change color. But I found this last year, and it's starting to lose a little bit of color here. You see, it's coming through a bit darker. Some of the plating is wearing off. But yeah, we're just gonna keep that on my finger, and we'll come back to it. You could see sort of it changes as the light reflects off differently. It has like a greenish hue, a yellowish hue, purple hue, blue, but it also changes due to the temperature. So we're just gonna keep that on my hand. Seha ile, hey, how you doing? Uh, I'm subscribed to Dig and Connect. Yeah, everybody should subscribe to each other's channels in the chat. Definitely, definitely. All the rings I find are plated. Yeah, these are all sort of not real. They're like copper or bronze on the inside. And one of my favorite rings from last year, and it's unfortunate that it's not my size. It's this one. It's a very nice little ring, and it has sort of like these black dark stones on it. You can see there's no markings on the inside, but I'm not seeing that it's miscolored. So it's probably stainless steel. Oh, it has a little bit of miscoloring. So it's probably stainless steel or aluminum because aluminum can also tarnish. Yeah, that mood ring. I said I was gonna wear it so you guys could see the color change, and then I took it off to show you guys the other ring. Not too bright, this one over here. Just saying. So yeah, let's keep that one on, and you guys could see it's sort of changing colors. It's like turning pink. Lovely. I was hoping it would turn like a cool purple or what do you call it? You can actually see the color change as I'm wearing it. The blue fading away into that pink color. We're gonna keep it on for a little bit longer, see if it changes into any other colors. And then this is where I keep the better stuff, my better jewelry finds. Uh, all the rage in the 70s. Not that I would know. Yeah, those mood rings are really cool. I when I found this one, I was like, it was so big, and I thought it was silver, silver ring with a rock. But then I noticed what it was, and you guys can see the color still changing from that nice, beautiful dark blue to sort of like a light pink now. Before it was a darker pink, now it's like a light pink. Um, the smaller rings are more impressive. Yeah, I like the small rings I have here too. This is my sort of little bit of things that are real or can possibly be real. So just yeah. The first one is this, and I spent a lot of time cleaning this. It's a Saint Christopher medal, and it's also a what do you call it with the Virgin Mary? Something medallion. Jeez, I forget the name, but it's the one that says Mary conceived without sin, pray for us who have recourse to thee. Yeah, miraculous medal. That's what it is. So it's sort of like this is the Virgin Mary on one side, and this is a silver. and on the other side it's the St. Christopher's, and it opens up. And on this side, it's just the back of the miraculous medals. Most miraculous medals have sort of that design with the stars and the cross and the M on the inside. And on the bottom, it is stamped sterling. How do I do this without the sun in my eye? You could probably see sort of here how it's stamped sterling. Maybe, maybe not. But then on the other side, it's a more personal note. It's stamped TAR, love mom and dad. So TAR, love mom and dad. Oh, and you can see the sterling sign on the bottom. And so this has like a personal touch, and I found it while I was out metal detecting last year. Love this, love this. Silver again. I'm gonna put that to the side and go to the next one. And now, what's the color of the ring? It's green. Strange, right? How it just keeps changing colors. We went from blue to pink. It's like, well, it was dark pink, then light pink, and now it's like a strange green. And the bottom is actually a different color just because it's more connected to my skin there. So yeah, really interesting ring change effects there. I found this one, Carlos. I found this next to Carlos, and there's a story behind this ring. There's a story behind this ring. On the day I found this ring, I'm gonna put this away because it's not really my size. It's kind of constricting my blood flow. But uh, the day had gone where we went out to Orchard Beach. It was me, Merrill, Carlos, and Merrill is using his Beach Hunter, his White's machine, and I had brought my Equinox with me, my almost recently purchased Equinox, right? I've only used it once before, and this is before Merrill had gotten his Equinox. Merrill was using his Beach Hunter, I believe, because his Safari had broken. His Safari had broken. He already had the Nocta Macro Amphibio at that point. He had already had the Amphibio at that point, but he hadn't gotten his Equinox. This is important because we're going out to the beach, and I tell Merrill, this is the best machine I've ever used. The Equinox 600, the 800 works similarly. They're the best machines I've ever used. Oh, it's getting dark outside. Can you turn on the light? Thank you. I just asked my wife because the sun is sort of setting in such a way that it's making me really dark. And I'm like, why am I so dark? So I had lent Merrill my, hey, metal detecting channel, how you doing? It's story time. We're going through some of my finds from last year. I had lent Merrill my Equinox, and he lent me his Beach Hunter. So we did a sort of change, and I had never used a pulse induction machine before. I was getting used to the sounds. I was picking a few things up, but they were all pennies. I probably came home with like 80 or 90 pennies that day. It was kind of insane. And I was getting very frustrated. Meanwhile, Merrill's picking up gold and silver with my Equinox that day, and I was so frustrated. I was upset. Carlos probably remembers this day too. I had made a rap about it sort of in a live stream. I had rapped about my experiences using the pulse induction Beach Hunter, and sort of my little competition jealousy going on with Merrill pulling up cool stuff. So he leaves. We give each other the machines back. I'm using my Equinox, and literally like 10 to 15 minutes after he leaves, I find this beautiful silver ring with like a little emerald in there. It's a green rock. It's not coming out that nicely because the sun is setting. The sun is setting on the scene. But yeah, this is a real. It's marked. It's stamped 925. So it actually has other stamps too. Give me 1 second. I can read it out for you. It's N25. Oh, and there's like a symbol that looks sort of like an N or a V, and then the copyright symbol. So yeah, beautiful little ring. And so that's the story of this ring. Because Merrill, I was using his Beach Hunter, did not know how to use his pulse induction machine, and I was just, winging it, finding pennies left and right. Oh, and there's also another story. Yeah, you remember that, Carlos, because I was like, yo, come over here. Carlos, come over here. I gotta show you this. And I was sort of in the water. The water was about knee deep, maybe. But yeah, and also there's another thing I have to say about the pennies on Orchard Beach. There's sort of an idea that I've seen it myself, where people give sacrifices out on Orchard Beach, and what they do is they grab a handful of change. A lot of times it's pennies, and they'll throw out the change onto the sand, and so a lot of times it's pennies, and you have like a patch where there's like
60 or 70 pennies, or sometimes just 10 pennies, or sometimes we'll see things like watermelons or pumpkins floating in the water. That happens very often. Um, yeah, this one did this one ring up like a penny, or did it ring up 25? I'm not sure. I think this one rang up 25, but I do have a few that have rung up like a penny. And so we'll just move on. Should I pull one that's gold or one that's silver now? Let's show off a gold. We did two silvers already. Come on, Jonathan. This is a beautiful men's wedding band that I found also in Orchard Beach. Let's see what it's marked here. I see a 4 and I see a K. 14 carat. Okay, 14K. Uh, Yeah, Digging Canuck has an amazing channel, and Seha, can I call you Seha, or if there's a different pronunciation, just write down how it's pronounced, and I'll call you that. But Seha, she has a lot of live streams, especially on the weekends. Her Sunday morning live stream, Coffee with Liz, very cool. She also has live streams where she does show and tell and giveaways, things like that. So very awesome. So yeah, definitely follow each other, subscribe to each other's channel. But yeah, 14 karat gold men's wedding band, and I had shown it to Merle when I had found it, and of course he one up me. He had gotten something better. Uh, but yeah, just memories from last year. You know, when I look at these things, like I know there's value in them in the metal, but what I see is the story. Who was I with? Who did I first tell when I got these items? You know, and I think the crew in New York City. So it's me, Rob Kress, who's currently in the chat, Indiana Tones, who's come out with us to the beach a few times, definitely to Prospect Park multiple times. We all know each other pretty well. Detectaholics isn't here, but that's a mother-son team. Marilyn and Dennis, and we've been to Orchard Beach a few times with them. They've come with me, with us to Prospect Park when we go. So we have a beautiful and awesome community of people here. Speaking about a community in Prospect Park, this was another find that I just thought was so cool when I found it. This is a ring. Let's see if I could see where it's marked. Yeah, it's marked here. I just want to read off the markings. It's S925 ALE 48. So it's S925 ALE, and that should be capital 48. I'm typing it in so that you guys know what I'm talking about. Yeah. And it's a Pandora ring, Pandora silver ring. So you guys know that Pandora sells jewelry. They're basically known for those bracelets where you get the different beads and the beads are silver and you put them on and you pay per bead a crazy amount. And some of us in our group, I forgot, I don't know if it was Meryl, I don't know if it was Rob, found a Pandora chain or neck or how do you call it, bracelet, necklace thing, one of the ones that uh get the things on Coney Island. They had found that on Coney Island. I found this one in Prospect Park, and they're sort of higher end. They sell their silver very expensive. And I tried looking on their website, and it seems like they're no longer making this because it's no longer being sold on their website, and I haven't seen it for sale. So I don't know how much a Pandora, branded silver ring would go for. I know that the brand is worth more than the silver itself, but definitely awesome. And this was in one of our um, group hunts. We do a lot of group hunts here in New York, none recently, unfortunately. And it's very sad because last year we started the group hunts about this time. It was in March or April we started doing group hunts. And the first group hunt we did, I had suggested I want to see cherry blossoms. I want to metal detect amongst the cherry blossoms. And there were a few good places to do it. Prospect Park was one of them. And then we had our first hunt in Prospect Park. And I wanted to sort of commemorate like that 1 year anniversary this year. But, unfortunately, that time has passed. The cherry blossoms are beyond their time, and so unfortunately, that's not going to happen. It's going to have to wait till next year. But let's keep going. Let's keep going, right? You guys want to see more cool stuff. This is another. This is not a ring. It's an earring, so it's a bit different. Let's see what it says here. Yeah, I have to open it up because the shadow of the dang thing. SB 14K. So this is 14 karat white gold, and it has little rocks here. I don't have a diamond tester. I need to get one. But it has little rocks here, and they're pretty brilliant. So I'm hoping that they're not cubic zircons and that they might be something more expensive, like little diamonds, or at least moissanite. Moissanites are really cool too. Haagen-Dazs, yeah. definitely. Merle found it on Coney Island, and you found yours in sunken metal. Nice, nice. Never heard of a Pandora ring. Yeah, Pandora makes more than those bracelets. They make rings. They make all sorts of uh um jewelries. Uh, but yeah, that ring I have. I just remember it. I got that one at Prospect Park. I remember that. Hanging out with my friends in Prospect Park. This earring, I think I found this earring before I started metal detecting with other people, unfortunately. Oh, Donna, can you get that bracelet that's on your this one I had given a piece of jewelry to my wife. It's not real, but I'm asking her to get it because it's one of the better pieces of fake jewelry that I found. And it was so I have sort of like the video of me live digging it on my channel. But you guys don't have to go through there to see how cool this is. It's a bracelet, but look at how pretty it is. Oh, let me do it this way. Look at how pretty it is, and it's not marked, and it's almost complete. And when I say almost complete, let me see if I find it. It's missing one rock right here. I don't know if you guys could see that, but it's missing basically one rock in one of these little flower things. Very dainty, small piece of jewelry. And the thing works. The latch works. It didn't have need to be fixed or anything. It's not losing color, so but I have it. I thought it was beautiful. I said, honey, come here, and it fits her, so I gave it to her. So we're just gonna put that to the side before I break it, because I have a tendency to break stuff. um Merle final bracelet with charms right after I passed a part of Coney Island in the wet park. I was using the White's MX Sport. Yeah, I remember Indiana before so Lou, before he had gotten his, and this is interesting. Carlos, I believe, had his Equinox first. Let me just say this: the story of the Equinox amongst us detectorists in New York. Carlos had his Equinox first. He was already detecting with it. Okay, but I didn't know Carlos when I purchased my Equinox. When I had purchased my Equinox, Merrill had just gotten his Nocta Macro Amphibio. But when he tried out my Equinox, he's like, "No, I'm getting this." And that was the same day I found that the silver ring with the emerald on it. So that was that same day. So Carlos had it first, but I didn't know Carlos. I had gotten my Equinox. Then Merrill used mine, and he got his. Then Rob, I don't know if Rob is still in the chat, but Rob was using a bounty hunter, and his bounty hunter broke. It was malfunctioning. I think he was eventually able to fix it, but soon after Merrill got his Equinox, Rob got an Equinox as well. And I remember the first day Rob was using his Equinox. I was talking to him about the settings, how to properly set up the machine. That was in Orchard Beach. Okay, at that point, there's four of us: me, Rob, Carlos, and Merrill. We all have Equinoxes, and then Lou, I think, was using his MX Sport before, and then he got an Equinox too. So it's like the entire crew of the New York metal detecting. Yeah, the entire New York metal detecting crew had gotten their Equinoxes, but I was forgetting somebody. Marilyn and Dennis, so they were going out with a bounty hunter machine, not a very high end one, but then they brought their Equinoxes as well. And I think they also have a Simplex now as well. But just wow, the fact that the entire crew. Oh, you got yours after me. Did you get yours before Merrill? I think you and Merrill had gotten it pretty much about the same time, I think. But it was like everybody last year got an Equinox. It's just like a crazy story. Um, yeah, Carlos, like you had it first, man. And I was using my what is it? My Garrett Ace 350, and but my God, the Equinox sort of changed the game with the amount of silver and gold I was pulling. Speaking of silver, sometimes I get like little pieces of silver like this. This is an earring without a back. The back had broken, but it's stamped 925, and so it's like I have a lot of little pieces like that in here. I have this one, and this one unfortunately is missing a stone on top, and yeah, it is stamped 925 in the back though. So it picks up like the smallest pieces of jewelry. It's kind of insane. This one, I think it's stamped 925. It's stamped 925 on the freaking part that you put in your ear. That's how small the stamp is. On that little pin, on the pin, it's stamped 925. It's another little sort of stud earring. But the fact that it's able to pick up something, smaller than my pinky, in terms of width, smaller than my pinky. It's pretty cool. It's pretty amazing what that machine picks up. Very, very. Hey, Treasure Bandits, UK, how you doing? Is there anybody else new in the chat? I might have missed somebody. Uh, yeah, Indiana says that he hates the ticks. Hates the ticks. And it's one of the reasons why every time Meryl is out in Dead Horse Bay, I'm like, that place is infested with ticks. It is scary. I would not go to Dead Horse Bay unless I take a bath in pyrethrin first. It is insane how many ticks are out there, especially in that wall. It is scary. I'm not even talking about little scary. This is like pandemic level scary. The ticks at Dead Horse Bay. But he goes out and he finds stuff and he's fearless and he goes without gloves, touching hypodermic needles and all types of stuff. Whoa, yeah. It's kind of crazy. So this one, let's just keep on continuing on with the show and tell before my time runs out. I have a few things that I really want to get to. But this one I found, and it sort of looks like one of the rings I found that were fake, but this is stamped 925 and it has like a bunch of little and they shimmer so much. I don't think they're real because it is silver and not gold. But yeah, it's a beautiful rock right there in the middle, and it looks like one of the rings I had found that wasn't real. Let me see if I can pull it out again from here. Of course, it's the one all the way on the bottom. Gotta make things difficult. I showed this off earlier when I was showing off the fake or not gold or silver rings. You see how they're similar? They're sort of similar, but this one this one is fake and this one is real. The one that's slightly smaller is real. And yeah, the real one is stamped 925. Does it have anything else stamped in it? Let me see. BS. I don't know what BS means. It's probably a maker's mark. I was looking up the maker's marks on some of these jewelries, and I got nowhere really fast. But yeah, 925. Yeah, Treasure Bandits. I agree. I agree with that sentiment. This is an interesting one. This is an interesting ring. It's stamped 925, and it has a family playing around a tree, sort of like a family tree. And again, it's stamped, 925. It's poorly stamped, but it is stamped. So we'll keep that there. This is one of the cooler finds from 2 years ago. I found this in the dry sand, and a lot of people don't hunt the dry sand. They go to the wet, to that tidal area where stuff accumulates. I found this in the dry sand in Coney Island. And let me tell you, the dry sand in Coney Island, if you're looking for change, is one of the most lucrative places you could find. Go the day after the 4th of July, where Nathan's has their huge hot dog eating contest. It's worldwide. People come from all over. Just a little bit of story about where we hunt. We went as a group last year to Coney Island the day after 4th of July. We went early before they had a chance to clean, and there was so much pollution on the beach. Let's just say we shed a tear to see the state of that beach. It was so sad, and we were all like, but they did an amazing job cleaning the beach before 10 a.m. 10 a.m. is when the lifeguards go on duty, so the beach starts populating with people who want to swim. But we were out there pretty early, and it wasn't that day that I found this, but I did find this on the same beach on Coney Island. And let me see what it is stamped as, 14K. So it's a little 14K heart ring. It's probably better if I put it on and don't lose it, right? Put it on my finger and don't lose it. It's a little 14K, really small heart ring. And I found that one in Coney Island. Yeah. So this is a good point. Treasure Bandits. There's a lot of beaches here in New York City. The big ones that a lot of people go to, Coney Island, it's sort of one that a lot of people go to because of the amusement park. But in the Bronx, Orchard Beach has been the most giving to me. Orchard Beach in the Bronx is the only beach in the Bronx. So if you're in Brooklyn, you could go to Coney Island, you could go to Manhattan Beach, you could go to Brighton Beach, you could even make your way out to the Rockaway Beach. and Rockaway Beach is very long. There's no sort of specific portion of Rockaway Beach that gets more populated than others, and so in terms of number of drops, if you want, like, you could find good stuff in Rockaway Beach. As a matter of fact, I had a friend that found in one day about $90 in quarters on Rockaway Beach. But if you want sort of high density of drops, Coney Island and Orchard Beach, I would recommend those are the places to go here in New York. And so, yeah, Treasure Bandits, you make that's a really good point that we do find a lot here, but the population is so big and it gets so hot, and this is the only beach in the Bronx to go to. Like, yeah, there's gonna be a lot of stuff dropped there, a lot of stuff. Um, Hi from Portugal. Hey, Lusitania, how you doing? Bom dia. That's cool. Definitely. Speaking of Orchard Beach, where a lot of people drop a lot of stuff, I have found this bad boy in, and this was one of my favorite videos. I found this gold chain in Orchard Beach. It's not like a full chain; it's a bracelet. It can't compare to the chain that Carlos found uh, on the day I lost my cell phone. That was crazy. But let me see what this is stamped, so I could tell you guys instead of just showing a chain and not saying. So it's stamped 14K, and then it's stamped. What is that, 585? Yeah, so it's stamped 14K on this side. Let me separate it so you guys can see what I'm talking about. On this side, it's stamped 14K. And then on the actual clasp, that little part of the clasp that does the moving, this part, it's stamped 585. They mean the same thing. 585 is 58.5% gold, which is 14K. 14K, if you do the division, 14 over 24 is 58.5%. So that's what that means. And I found this one on Orchard Beach as well. So yeah, I'm trying to close it. But yeah, let me tell you guys the story of that chain that Carlos found last year in Orchard Beach, because oh my god, it was a day that I'll always sorry, on Coney Island, because it's a day I'll always remember. Uh, that day we were all going out metal detecting Coney Island. It was me, Merrill, Carlos. We went out, and I think Carlos had driven me out there, right? So we went out. We're on Coney Island. We're metal detecting. We're not really finding much. He's on a mission to find gold. I just want to find something cool. And Merrill pulls up with his Nocta. He's like, I'm gonna give this thing another shot. He had already had his Equinox at the time. He's like, I'm gonna give this Nocta another shot. And when he comes up to us, he has gold and platinum already pulled from the beach. I was losing my mind. I was like, what? What you just got here, Merrill? What the heck? But he had found gold and platinum so fast that day. I just thought, something awesome is gonna happen. Something else awesome. We went to get Nathan's hot dogs. There's a famous Nathan's hot dogs place. Nathan's hot dogs started off with a cart on Coney Island, and then they sort of expanded from there. They have a huge location on Coney Island. So we went there, and when we go there, I realized that I lost my cell phone. And how did I lose my cell phone? I usually put it in the bag where I put my metal detecting finds. And so when I was in the water, a wave must have hit me, or maybe I was bending over and it fell out of my bag and I didn't notice. Needless to say that my cell phone belongs to Poseidon now. No longer my cell phone belongs to Poseidon. That day I actually found a toy car. Don't think I have that car anymore. That was one of the cars I threw out. I usually keep the cars because I like to get them branded with my channel name. Sort of, I have someone fix them up and they put my YouTube channel on there. But anyway, I had lost my cell phone. Big bummer that day. We weren't leaving. We were on a mission. I still went out metal detecting. Carlos went out metal detecting. Merrill left early. He got there later than us and he left early. He found what he was gonna find, so he left. And me and Carlos were metal detecting. We're looking, and Carlos pulls out the fattest gold chain I ever seen. I'm talking about Mr. T levels of awesomeness right now. Like, think about the craziest gold chain you ever, this is nothing. Imagine putting this to shame with something 4 times like the size and 8 times the weight. Like, I'm talking about crazy amount of stuff. Let's just say tacos for a year, um, sort of gold chain. That's the type of chain that Carlos found that day, and it was so cool. I had lost my cell phone, but I went home happy. I was so happy that he had found that. I was like, oh my god, that's like the most amazing find. And he's worn it a few times when we go out metal detecting. He'll have it like under under his clothes. I'm like, hey, show off that chain, and he's like, ah, yeah, it's so cool. It's so cool. Let's see. I have a few other things here that I can show. Why is this getting so cloudy? This is a piece of silver, again, earring without a back, but it's getting really cloudy. I might have to do something to sort of shine it up. Um, yeah, let's just put that to the side. Um, this one was a pretty cool piece of jewelry. It's stamped 925 in the back. It's an earring, but it's not like a stud. It sort of has like a shape to it. You, I'm holding it where you're supposed to see the shape. Okay, see, it sort of has a shape like a dangliness to it. It has a huge rock. I don't know if that rock is real or not. I mean, it looks really pretty. I need to get a diamond tester at this point, just because every single rock I pull, I'm like questioning. I'm like, are you real? Are you not real? I don't know. What is real? What is real? This one says 925. It's stamped, and it's another stud, but without. It doesn't have a back. It's a stud without a back, and a beautiful rock. Again, no idea if it's real. I really doubt that these silver ones are real. Oh, you're wearing the chain right now? That's lovely. That's lovely. That's lovely. That's funny. Yeah, so I don't know if this one is real or not. Let's just go. I have a few more. I have this one, which I don't know if it's real or not. It was tested and it came back not real, but I don't know if I trust the test. Just because, and the reason I say that is because where it's cut, it looks like it's the same color all the way through. So and it hasn't lost any color. It hasn't lost sort of any plating. So it's broken, which might be an indication that it's not real, but you never know because it's so thin and it has that golden color and the letter B on it. I think it might be real, but maybe it wasn't enough. No, I don't have a diamond tester. So yeah, this is probably not gold enough to show up on a test, but I think it is gold, maybe 9 carat, because it is possible to do 9 carat gold, and that won't show up on a 10 carat test. And so I'm still holding out hope for this one, so I'm keeping it in the good stuff pile, sort of. Yeah, just a few more, guys, just a few more. This one, I'm not sure where it's stamped. Oh, I see it now. It's stamped on, again, this one is stamped on the little part that you put into your ear. I don't know what you call it, the back of the earring, basically. Not like the back, it's like the back part that you put into your ear. And it's probably the biggest rock I have. It's stamped 925, stamped silver. You can see how big that is. Very pretty earring. And then we have another sort of stud earring. This one it has a weird stamp. It says BBCN. BBCN. Don't know what that means. But I think CN, I think that stands for like traded with China or something. Like Chinese trade or something. But yeah, very bright. It hasn't lost any of its color. It's just a really large, beautiful ring, and yeah, I believe it's silver. I believe this one's silver. The rock is a bit off edge, and it has sort of like a, I don't know how to describe it. It's clear, but it sort of has a pink quality. It's not like a white clear. It's sort of like a pink clear. Um, you think gold is stamped different in our the way we stamp gold in here, it's 14K, 10K, 18K, like that. But I have seen gold stamped 585, which is like 14 karat gold, or yeah, I have seen it stamped with like a 3-digit designation, and I've also seen silver's always stamped 925 or sterling, depending on when it was made. So, or at least for what I have in my collection, that's what I go by. If it's stamped anything else, I usually try to look that up and determine is it silver, is it gold, how like what's the percent, you know. But yeah, sort of in this container of this used to be a it says Spice Professors. It used to be a tea container. I drink a lot of tea, but this is where I keep sort of the real jewelry I have. And then the last one I'm going to show is this one, and it's a silver earring. Let's see what this the stamp says, so I can actually read it to you guys. Just 925. Okay, the stamp just says 925, so it doesn't have any additional markers or letters on it. But yeah. Ours is 395, 595. Always three numbers. Oh, I see, I see. Yeah, over here sometimes, especially so this it is stamped 5. Hold on. On one side it says 14K, but on the other side it says 585, which I believe is 14 karat. And then this one is actually stamped 14K. This gold ring. Yeah, it's 7 o'clock. There's another channel that's going live right now. Just give me a second to find it, and I'm going to be going live tomorrow as well, about the same time. Maybe I might start a little later, like 6:30 instead of 6 p.m. So I started today an hour ago, 6 p.m. EST. But I know that there's another YouTube channel that's going live right now. If anybody's interested in watching them, I was gonna pull up their channel. Give me a second. Give me a second. Huh. They're supposed to be going live at 7, so maybe. One second, guys. Don't go anywhere. Yeah, I can't. I don't know. I can't find their channel. If we filter this by channel or type. I'm going on at about the same time. So, whatever time it is in your time zone, this is the easiest way to do it. 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but whatever time it is in your time zone right now, an hour before. So I've been streaming for about an hour. Tomorrow I'll probably go on at a pretty much the same time. Jersey History Hunters. So they're live now. They're actually starting their live channel now. So we're just gonna head over there and we're gonna just hang out with them for a while. You know what I mean? Just because I've had my hour and other channels are going live, and I'm gonna be back tomorrow, guys. Don't worry. But I'm gonna post their channel in the chat right now if you want to keep on hanging out with some pretty cool people. That channel is right now in the chat. You can hit that channel, the link, and we're gonna hang out there for a bit, and we're gonna chat with them just to see what happens. But again, I'll be here tomorrow. We'll talk about different things, metal detecting stuff. Thanks, guys. It was really fun reminiscing with all of you about the stuff I'd found, the stories, the people I'd met. Also, I really suggest everybody, subscribe to each other's channels. Treasure Bandits, Metal Detecting UK, the Metal Detecting channel, Lusitania. Rob is in the chat. Carlos is in the chat. They don't produce YouTube videos though. Indiana Tones, awesome channel, always producing content. You'll try to come on. Oh, it's pretty late. I see. Oh, so right now it's like 12 night. That is pretty late. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. We'll be here again tomorrow. Ciao.